West Coast football players play for fun. Southern football players play for life. And that was the exact personification
Brother,
of what happened last night in that game.
this is what the more I think about this game, this is the more like the college football landscape just I was upset because one, there was no SEC representation, and you know how I feel about the SEC when it comes to college football. I mean, it's
Yes, I do.
they are numero uno. The Big Ten is number 2, and when I think of the Big Ten, I think of 2.5 teams. Well, the old Big Ten, not this new iteration of the Big Ten. The old Big Ten, there's 2.5 teams. It was Michigan and Ohio State, and then maybe the half just came from good players on teams like Wisconsin, Iowa, Nebraska. Some of these other schools were like,
no Penn State love.
Yeah, Penn State's in that half too.
Okay.
Penn State's in that half. Actually, 3.5. I would consider Penn State in there because they usually put out some good NFL talent.
Okay.
So about 3.5 schools, and I'm like, okay, well, it's the SEC. It's 3.5 schools in the Big Ten, and then maybe 1 or 2 schools in the Big 12. Outside of that, especially when it comes to like the trenches, I don't know, man. I don't know if some of these other schools are where the NFL is telling us there's a few schools where they know they produce linemen, and it's a premium position in the NFL. So,
I'm with you. It's your team is as only good as your line.
Mm-hmm. So
no, can only do so much.
So when I got the matchup of Michigan versus Washington, yes, I was hoping Washington won because I'm not going to acknowledge a Michigan national championship, but I knew what was going on. Because the same thing would have happened. Imagine if they would have played Bama.
Oh, Washington?
It wouldn't have been much different. It wouldn't have been much different. They may have had 1 or 2 more opportunities in the game with the ball because Alabama center does not know how to snap a football correctly, which is coincidentally enough, he just transferred, and I believe he transferred to Ohio State. So good luck to that brother. But listen, the SEC, the Big Ten, they are the 2 classes when it comes to college football, and I think I go back and look at national championships. The SEC's won how many of the last 20 national championships for a good reason?
Was it 14, 15?
Yeah.
Clemson's got one.
Last 20. You could probably name the non-SEC champions quicker than you can name all the SEC champions since
Clemson,
2000.
Michigan. Since 2000, Texas, SC.
Ohio State, Michigan,
SC, because Matt Leinart got one.
Mm-hmm.
Texas, that was Vince Young, the greatest game ever played. Clemson, we said Clemson. Shit, that's all I got.
Florida State,
Jameis. Yeah. Yep, that's it.
That's it. Outside of that, it's been nothing but Southeastern Conference football teams winning national championships. With 12 teams, I don't know if this is going to change much.
It's not. It's not. The 12 teams, only thing 12 teams, you're going to get your Liberty, your Tulane, whatever non-Power 5 or Power 4 now, whoever the darling is, and it's just a way to sneak Notre Dame in.
I think if you're an SEC school, you should be excited because you know there's likely if you make it to the SEC championship, you should know that you're going to be in. If you make it to the Big Ten championship, you should know you're going to be in.
Correct.
And I just feel like the rest of those teams will just fall in. But I'll say this: they are national champions, so congratulations to Michigan on winning the national championship. And that is about it. You'll get from me. That is about all you'll get from me.
Are you trying to say that they're going to learn the difference between reloading and rebuilding?
I think next year when Michigan has to start 22 new starters across offense and defense and potentially having a rookie head coach if Jim Harbaugh decides to leave, they're going to find out what hell really looks like because Ohio State is going to quickly rise right back to the top. But they got their national championship, though.
That's all that matters. That's why you play the game.
Now, Michigan fans, this is where your fandom really comes into fruition, and we find out who the real Michigan fans were and who are a little bit entitled over the last few years. Jim Harbaugh and that staff have been building and plotting to win this national championship at least for the last 10 years. They've been working their roster, a lot of wins, a lot of adversity to win this national championship. There's no this was an old team that won a national championship.
Yes.
So now next year, y'all think y'all going to do like the Georgia thing where you can just like return all these new players and y'all are going to be dumb? It's different.
Telling you, rebuilding versus reloading.
What do you think they're in?
Oh, they're going to definitely in a rebuild. Nah, dog. You're about to see the difference between Georgia and Bama in Michigan next year, right? Georgia and Bama are always in the conversation. Michigan has to work its way into the conversation.
Here's my next question for you. Do you think with Michigan winning this national championship, do you think that puts pressure on Ryan Day? Do you think?
Oh, hell yeah. Absolutely. When the Ops win, yeah, dog, that puts a lot of pressure on Ryan Day. Absolutely.
I saw some people saying that if Michigan won this national championship, that warrants more reason for Ryan Day to be fired this offseason.
Yeah, I can listen. Nothing's worse than seeing your enemy win. What's better in your eyes? Watching Green Bay win or the Bears lose?
Green Bay winning.
It's not even close. Because let me tell you something. The joy I get watching the Cowboys lose in high leverage situations may feel a little bit, or at least the same as watching the Eagles win.
Yo, I'm glad you mentioned the NFC East. I saw a tweet earlier that's from last year that said Dak Prescott is nothing more than a 27 touchdown, 15 interception machine. And somebody quoted that and said, life comes at you fast, with a screenshot of Jalen Hurts' season from this year. That includes, I believe, 27 touchdowns and 15 interceptions this year.
Has it been 15 or is it total turnovers? Because he has a fumbling problem. He doesn't have an interception. Some of those interceptions, like the one in the Seattle game, was just a great play by the safety. The one in the Giants game Sunday, another great play. How many picks does he have? Has it been 15? Yeah, won a game sounded right.
Let's see. Oh, man.
Let's see.
So actually, I gave him 4 touchdowns. Jalen Hurts this year finished with 3,858 yards, 23 touchdowns, 15 interceptions.
That's crazy.
60 QBR.
Which is crazy. He's still graded top 10 by PFF. Like, he was still the top 10 quarterback by PFF standards.
Yo, I want everyone to know, listen, PFF is some bullshit.
There are times where PFF, I'm like, oh.
No, PFF is some bullshit. When I found out Chris Collinsworth and them made PFF, hilarious. And that's the only thing they be using on NBC,
hilarious.
I said, okay, I see what y'all are telling me. Y'all are just telling me these are Chris Collinsworth and them stats.
Pretty much, and you got to pay for them. So my question is, who would you take over Jalen? And I guess that'll kind of give me Pat, Josh, Joe, Lamar, Dak. Some people say Herbert. I would not. I think Jalen's running ability. I would take Jalen over Justin. Who else am I missing?
You're not gonna throw in J Love in there?
I'll put no, not yet. I ain't gonna put J Love. This is year 1 for J Love. I mean,
brother, look at the season.
I mean, but look at the opponents.
What more do you
look at the opponents?
He had the same amount of games. He had the same amount of games this year as
now. Read me who the Packers played. Read me that schedule.
Oh my gosh, bro. Okay.
The Eagles were 6-2. I know the Eagles are ass, and we'll talk about it in a second. They're 6-2 against playoff teams.
Brother, and y'all was winning a lot of them games by 3 to 7 points. Let's not act like y'all was handling.
A win is a win. Who do you play? Jeff, we can see
Packers played Chicago, Atlanta, New Orleans, Detroit, Vegas, Denver, Minnesota twice, the Rams, Pittsburgh, LA, Detroit again, Kansas City, the Giants, Tampa Bay, Carolina, and Chicago.
Oh, and I'm supposed to be like Jordan Love is better after hearing that schedule? You played the Panthers.
Brother, first off, we played who was in front of us, just like y'all played who was in front of y'all, and there are some common opponents there that are playoff teams. We both beat Kansas City, right? We both beat Did y'all beat Minnesota this year?
Yes. Here's the Eagles schedule: New England, Minnesota, Tampa, Washington, Rams, the Jets, the Dolphins, the Commanders again, Dallas, Kansas City, Buffalo, San Francisco, Dallas, Seattle, New York twice, and Arizona. Come on, dog. What are we talking about? What are we talking?
I don't know what we're talking about. I hear
you know what? Swap out, take out San Francisco and Buffalo, and put in Carolina and the Raiders. Let's see what Jalen's stats look like then.
Y'all lost to the Cardinals.
That's true.
With a lead.
That's true.
You lost to the Giants.
That's true. Hey, I'm not saying they're.
What are we talking
I'm not
about
saying
here?
they're a good team. I'm just saying Jalen's numbers will look a lot better if he played the same schedule as Jordan. Not to disrespect Jordan, because Jordan is good. Like Jordan.
Y'all played the Giants and the Commanders twice.
You played Minnesota without Kirk Cousins and Jettas. And you get out my face.
Y'all played
out my face.
Tyrod Taylor in them. Y'all played Tyrod. This is hilarious because let me read you Jordan Love's stats.
Yeah, read me
Jordan Love. 4,159 passing yards, 32 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, 62 QBR.
I think we're not accounting for Jalen's rushing touchdowns.
All right, bro.
That's why I would take. I'm not saying Jordan is bad. Like Jordan is good, but let's see what Jordan does on Saturday. I've seen Jalen play great in the high with the stakes on the line. I don't know what Jordan gonna do. He might go in Dallas, piss on himself.
This is real hate.
This is not hate.
Y'all start off this
I don't hate on my fellow brothers. No, that's not hate.
You're talking about that schedule of y'all's, but y'all start off the season 10 and whatever, barely winning games.
But a win is a win. So if you go into Dallas and win by 2 on Saturday, you can be like, well, Jordan only won by 2. No, you can be like, no, we won.
So when I was saying that we were either barely beating or barely losing the teams, you're saying, oh, well, it don't really matter. But when it comes to the Eagles, hey, man, you got to play who's in front of you.
When have I ever said that a win doesn't matter? When have I ever looked you in the face and said a Packers win doesn't matter?
Your argument right now is, if we played who y'all played, I mean, I'd love to see Jalen's
that's all I'm saying.
Y'all played the Commanders. Y'all played the Commanders, the Giants twice.
Panthers. You played the NFC South. You played the NFC South. The Patriots had a top 10 defense in the first half of the league
and barely beat them in week 1 to start the season.
Patriots had a top 10 defense.
Okay.
Dog, no, you played the you know what? Who's the division you play next year? Because the Eagles play the NFC South next year.
I think we play the NFC West next year.
Okay, come holler at me when Jordan Love had them same numbers after playing the NFC West. We'll see, and I hope he excels because I like Jordan Love. But you out here talking like the schedule didn't help inflate them numbers. We'll see. He gonna play the best defense in the league on Saturday.
So a schedule full of nothing but professional football.
Oh, that's what we doing. That's what we doing.
Because every team's got nothing. Everybody on these NFL teams get paid to play.
Okay. We're gonna put a pin in that. We're gonna put a pin in that because you're gonna come with some bullshit real soon.
Listen, you play who's on your schedule, right. This is the NFL. We're gonna put a pin. The not for long.
Kyle,
league, any given Sunday league.
Jamie, Jeff, put a pin in this. We all hear what this man's saying right now. Akili, I know you wandering somewhere in the dark in here too. Put a pin in this because he's gonna come with some bullshit real soon.
Yeah, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 128 of Speak On It. Of course, you already know when you see the fro, you already know that could only be the bro that came here to speak and speak on it. Samo, Los D-Mix, as always, joined here by the smoothest bald head on the East Coast, Danny Ocean. My brother, how are you doing?
I will say before we really get started, there's a monsoon happening outside. So I've already lost power once. So if it happens again and it just goes,
well, it's coming to the East Coast because we're supposed to get some inclement weather this weekend.
Yeah, like it's been. They let us out of work 2 hours early today.
Listen. You know what's funny, and I'm not going to really reveal my employer. If you know my employer, you know. But they started a new policy where they want people working in office 4 days a week versus 3 days a week like they previously had it for the last 3 years. And this week was the first week that they really started that. And I think with this inclement weather, they're already going to tell people, this Thursday, maybe even tomorrow, we're going to just close the campus.
Good.
So
that's how it should be.
If you want to stay home, you could be. So here's my thing, and I think I want to talk about this before we get into the NFL. Let's talk about employers and wanting to have people work in office. I'm finding a lot of employers are saying it's because they want people working, in office because they work better together. Do you think that is a load of BS?
Yes, that is the biggest load of horseshit. If I can do my job from home effectively, why I got to be around other people?
What do you really think the issue is, or what they're trying to solve? Because I'm with you. I don't think this has a lot to do with better efficiency working together.
These companies have signed these leases to these buildings, and they're not paying rent for an empty building. That's all.
1,000%.
That's it. We're not paying rent on an empty building.
And I think for the longest, they were like, when business is good, they're like, hey, we don't mind. But as soon as it gets close to the red line, or they start even close to the break-even line, they start saying you know what, something's got to change here. Let's just bring them back and see if that makes people more effective.
And you have supervisors who don't know how to handle people without being on top of them. Everyone has had that manager that just got to walk.
As someone who has worked with like people managers before, can you speak a little bit more to that? Because I don't think a lot of people really know what you're talking about.
Oh, the helicopter manager, the manager who proves their value by harassing you. Like, we all had that manager. They want to touch in, or we're just walking around. Everyone has had that manager who doesn't add anything to the team, but their value is in, the look, right? What's that TikTok? If you want to look busy at work, just walk around fast. Like, just walk like you.
Do you do that? Do you do that at your job?
No, I don't do that, dog. I'm 225 pounds. I can't walk fast. I go as quickly as I need to go.
So you never like on, like, you maybe got a few things to do at work, but if you do it too fast, you'll be very bored. And then so you're just like, all right, what could I do for like 30 minutes to just waste
I'll go to the bathroom and take a dump, or I'll go walk around somewhere. I walk very slow.
Let's get a quick list going of like things to do when you don't want to do all your work at one time.
Pull out a pen
at work.
Go to the bathroom.
So I'm starting with go to the bathroom.
Go get water.
Walk around.
Go talk to someone. You know what you could do?
What did you say?
Go get water.
Go get water. Walk around.
If you have one of those terrible managers that want to check in, go check in with them. Go walk into their office, because you know what that manager's doing? Nothing. Go talk to them. There's someone on another. Oh, you know what I used to do? My tried and true. Go kick it with IT. IT usually the coolest team in the whole building. Go kick it with IT. Go act like you got a problem. Go to IT and ask them about the new iOS update and what they think. Go to IT and ask them about the new iPhone or the new Android. Go to IT and ask some random question. Dog, that's 45 minutes off jump.
And speaking of IT, I want to shout out my man Rick, because Rick, I used to be at that IT desk mad often, even when I didn't need anything, just because I just wanted to go down there and
we just wanted to kick it. For those who are on the audio adventure, Jamie says Mac on female coworkers. No, do not get a sexual harassment case, because you cannot come back from that.
Yeah, Jamie. Listen, that's one of the things you should never do, is go Mac on female coworkers. Matter of fact, let them come back on you, and then you let them come back on you, and then you talk about nothing but like work stuff, or like what you're doing in your personal time that's real innocent, like weekend plans. Like, I'm gonna watch some sports this weekend. That way, if they try to come at you or try to go to HR, you can be like, no. I told you I was going to watch the Packers this weekend, not trying to pack your ass this weekend.
Whoa. You know what's funny about all this?
What?
I married my wife. We met at work.
Oh, back at the spot?
Now, before that spot, we first met. We were temps together. And I was like, damn, she fine. But I didn't want to say nothing, you know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't trying to lose. I couldn't go home and tell my parents I lost my job talking to some girl. But it worked out.
Listen, there have been, in my time, I have worked with a few coworkers where I'm like, man, you are something serious. And every time Every time I tell them, even if we've gotten to a place where maybe we start hanging out extracurricularly outside of work, I usually tell them, listen, I don't like to shit where I eat.
Amen.
I'm going to be honest with you. I am very scared to even be here with you. I don't even know how long this is going to work out. Because if it comes down to losing my job or losing this woman, you know which one I'm going to choose.
Oh, always pick the
I'm going to lose this. I'm going to lose this woman fast.
Real quick.
Because you can find another job. And when you find another job, we can get it on. We can get it on and pop.
Wait. You mean you can find another woman, not another job, right?
No.
You said you're going to lose the woman, right?
Yeah, you lose the woman until she finds another job somewhere else.
Oh, you find okay, understood. Correct. Yeah. That is the right answer.
Yeah.
Whoa, Jamie said I had babies with my coworkers. Plural?
This brother is starving. This brother was starving. This brother said, nah. This brother in between some work meetings said, nah, your next meeting, gynecologist, OBGYN.
My man said we was conceiving near the hand dryer in the bathroom.
Brother, they went for one lunch break and did not come back.
Whoa. First of all, Jamie, where do you work? Secondly, again, coworkers as in plural?
Bam. First, what's wrong with Bam? I need to know what's wrong with Bam.
I don't know.
For those on the audio adventure, Bam said, I let the female coworkers hit on me, then I report them to HR like Charleston White. Okay.
Yo, Bam. Did you see that clip of Charleston and Brittany Renner?
Charleston White looked like the victim. He looked like the victim. He looked like the victim.
Okay, Jamie said 2 babies, 1 coworker. Okay. Woo! That'd have been an interesting baby shower.
Wait, you took her out of work for 6 total cumulative months because your ass wanted to put a baby in her? Oh, I know that CEO tight. Her manager tight as hell. That brother tight as hell. Her manager tight as hell. Like, God damn it, man.
She pregnant again?
You know, in your mind, I know people managers or like managers when like, because I feel like every team that, how do I say this? Because I got to be politically correct. Listen, I feel like there's a manager that's like, damn, you pregnant again? Can y'all just, can y'all pause on it? Because you can't tell somebody stop having babies. You just got to look at them like.
So here's the thing though, right? If that happens, so that's probably like a 2-year window where that person's going to be in and out of the lineup. But once they back, like unless it's like most people stop at 2, maybe 3. But once she come back after 2, we plug and play.
What do you mean? Plug and play?
Like, this is going way off topic. But, she has a baby. She's on maternity leave. She comes back a few months. She gets pregnant again. She goes out on maternity leave again. When she comes back from that second maternity leave, she's probably not going to get pregnant again ever. And if she does, she's probably going to wait a while. I mean, some people want a bunch of kids. Maybe she gets pregnant a 3rd time.
So you must know parents then who've had multiple kids.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm in that age group.
Well, yes, because my mom had me, then my sister like 2.5 years later, and then they didn't have my baby brother until 12 years later.
Yeah. That's how it used to be now, but now people seem to be having kids. Like there are some people who have kids like back to back. Like I just want to change diapers in this 3-year window, and that's it. What I'm saying is, if you have someone like that, once they get back from maternity leave that second time, they're probably going to be there for a while.
That's what you say. Until maybe like 9, 10, 11, 12 months down the road, they meeting you. Hey, so they went on one vacation to Europe, came back. They was extra joyous. Came back 3 months later and said, hey, knock, knock. Hey, big dog, let me tell you something. Remember that trip to Greece? Oh, it was greasy.
Oh, I would say congratulations. I always wanted to go to Greece, but the flights are so long.
I'm going to Greece in May, actually.
Shut up.
Wedding, yeah.
That's dope. Can you let me know how it is? Because I'd love to.
It should be nice.
I'd love to go to Greece.
Flying from Portland to New York, staying in New York for about a weekend. Then that following that Sunday night, flying to Greece. We're going to be in Paros, then Mykonos, and then Athens.
So what? New York to Greece is what? 18 hours?
No, it's probably like 6, 7, 8.
That's it?
Yeah.
Oh,
they're only like 6 hours ahead.
No layovers?
No, there's flights that take you from JFK to Athens. JFK is like one of the. Yeah,
it's true.
Yeah, so
maybe it's where I'm
located. You can fly from JFK to London, JFK to Paris. You can
Yeah.
So
we looked into flying to Paris.
Yeah, we're flying into Athens, spending some time. No, we're flying into Paros. No, we're flying to Athens, taking a ferry to Paros, being in Paros about a week, then going to Mykonos for a few days, then going to Athens to finish it out. So should be a good time.
Kyle, please don't name your kid Giannis.
First off, Kyle, congratulations on
congratulations.
I would say, Kyle, and I don't know, man.
I'll say it. A white Giannis.
Thank you, Kyle. Thank you, Kyle. You're gonna have that gentleman. I can't even call him my brother. You're gonna have that gentleman getting some interesting looks for the rest of his life. And I know you Canadian, and y'all Canadians are nice, but there are black folks in Canadians, in Canada too. Danny,
that's like a white Jerome. I'm sorry.
Listen, one of my homeboys, and this isn't sports related, but after this we'll jump to the NFL. One of my homeboys sent me this TikTok that said, if you're a white guy and you want to pick up girls more, get cornrows, because a white guy with cornrows. And
do not do that.
And I sent this back to my man, my reply to my man was simply, I think I might cut my hair because of this video.
Oh my God, that might be the worst advice I've ever heard.
He started laughing.
Please don't get
He started laughing, was like, bruh, these are the white dudes I be having to face, and these are the white dudes. He said, these are the white dudes that are the reason why I don't like to go in the office. And I just started laughing. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hop into the NFL. Speaking of white and black dudes, let's hop into the NFL. Danny,
what kind of transition? I'm sorry.
Because I believe one of our last episodes before the break was the all white versus all black team.
It was.
I had one of my coworkers ask me yesterday, who did he like? We discussed the all white versus all black team, and I just got to hysterically laughing because he was like, "Hey," he said, "We're winning on defensive and offensive linemen." I said, "Here's the thing: y'all may have the standouts, but like we got depth. So we'll just have really, really good players that we can sub in and out." So I said,
"I don't know, man. TJ Watt, having TJ Watt isn't."
We will have depth. We may not have the standouts, but we will have depth. We still got what's his name, Trent,
Miles Garrett.
Left tackle.
We got Trent. Miles Garrett.
We got Miles Garrett. Like we got some depth, and we got some players too. So then I said, so what are y'all going to do when we're able to hold up on in the trenches, and now y'all just got to try to cover skill position players? He said, yeah, we'll have Christian McCaffrey at running back, and that's when I started. I mean, he said we'll have Christian McCaffrey at cornerback, and that's when I started hysterically laughing.
Corner.
Because he knew, because that was him basically conceding the argument. He knew, yeah, nah.
We treating Christian McCaffrey like Travis Hunter. He gonna be a running back and a corner.
Yeah, nah. Jamie said, don't forget about the all Asian team. No, put them with the whites. See what still happens to him. Speaking, week 18, it was the NFL regular season wrap up, ladies and gentlemen. Danny, let's go around the league for a few topics and let's see what stood out. Let's start with the Rams. Is Puka Nacua the greatest white man out of BYU?
He is close, but there are two in front of him. I actually did research on the best white athletes from BYU. Two in front of him. Steve Young is in front of Puka. And Jimmer Fredette.
Down there with the Mormons.
Yeah, Steve was down there. And Jimmer Fredette. Did you know Danny Ainge went to BYU? I wanted to put Taysom Hill in front of Puka. Puka is not white. Yes, he is.
As Will Compton said, if you can't say the hard ER, you know what team you're playing for.
Dog, all right, this is getting way off track. But I would say Steve Young and Jimmer Fredette with Danny Ainge bringing up the rear.
Okay, well, Puka Nacua, top 5 white or non-black player athlete to come out of BYU, not bad. All in all, Puka Nacua, want to extend the most sincere congratulations on really the greatest rookie receiving season we've ever seen. Shout out to all you folks out there that were able to snag Puka on your rookie teams. And going forward, Puka will definitely be like a late first or an early second round pick in a lot of redraft leagues, I feel like.
Hey, I picked Puka up in one league and I won that league.
See, I picked up Puka and I don't want to talk about that league. Here we go to Atlanta. Arthur Smith upset at the wrong person after the Saints lost. He must have known he was going to get fired before the end of this game, the way it ended. Danny, what do you say to that?
If he knew he was going to get fired, he should have just punched Dennis Allen in the face or go roll up on Jameis and punch him. That Jameis interview after the game was the best thing in the
shout out Jameis for holding it
season.
down. He let it be known,
hilarious.
DA had nothing to do with this. The 11 men on the field were on the field at the 1 yard line and said, no, we want to score. Fuck these guys. We want to score.
Which is funny because that is more of an indictment on Dennis Allen than if Dennis Allen had called the run himself.
Why do you say that? That's interesting. That's an interesting take.
Because so Dennis Allen told them victory formation, let's close it out. His backup quarterback said, nah, fuck that. We're going to run the ball. Like that is a direct, like you're going against, that's disobedient.
I have to push back because I think you could still respect Dennis Allen, the coach, but be a player that says, hey, end of the season, we got a guy, Jamal Williams, a guy who led the league in touchdowns last year, but has been in and out of the lineup this year with injuries. He wants to score, if not his first touchdown, maybe his second touchdown of the season. We're at the 1 yard line. We don't know what type of incentives that means. Listen, hand this ball off. If y'all can't stop him from the one, then does it really matter?
Well, they were in victory formation. Like no one was trying. Like that's the thing. So you're in victory formation. They snap the ball. Your offensive lineman fires off the ball. Like what if someone got hurt?
The game was won.
I don't care. I think if you have a chance to embarrass your rival, you embarrass them. I don't care about that. It's just funny.
Listen, Arthur Smith, here's my thing. One, you had 59 and a half minutes to go win this game yourself. Y'all didn't. Two, you have spent a lot of this year, Arthur Smith, basically telling reporters and a lot of folks in the media that they don't know football and that you do. You are now on your third consecutive 7-9 season, including 2 first-round picks where you took Drake London and Bijan Robinson in the first round.
And Kyle Pitts.
Excuse me. You had 17 games to win 9 to 10 games. You couldn't win 8.
And also, this is what really got him fired. Bijan Robinson, I read, only had 2 carries within the 5 yard line this entire season. Get him out of here.
What are we talking about here? Listen,
get out.
If you're Atlanta, do you think you lean into an offensive-minded head coach or defensive-minded head coach?
I mean, everything's fine in Atlanta except they don't have a quarterback. Like, that's it. We're going to talk later about the jobs that are most intriguing. The Falcons have everything but a quarterback. I don't care who the coach is. Find a quarterback. And he's in Chicago right now.
I know. Matt Eberflus? Oh, you're talking about the quarterback.
No, Justin Fields.
So I have a different take. I know a lot of the fantasy community says that an offensive-minded head coach should go to Atlanta. I actually disagree. I think a defensive-minded head coach should be the one to take over, because if you take a defensive-minded head coach and allow them to really take over the defensive side of the ball, and then you just bring in a up-and-coming young offensive-minded coordinator to really run the offense like a head coach and use the offense as like a head coaching opportunity, make them like associate head coach, bring in a veteran defensive line, bring in a veteran defensive-minded head coach, make the young offensive coordinator associate head coach, and then you have sort of like a younger but better Ron Rivera, Eric Bieniemy situation, where then you allow that head coach to really develop this young talent, because then if the young talent develops and they start performing, then not only are you winning football games, the offense looks like it should look. Then you do this for 1 to 3 years, you're going to be one of the top head coaching candidates. You don't need to be an offensive-minded head coach to develop young offensive talents. I think it's, as an organization, you win more games, you're in more competitive games if your defense is better than your offense, or if you're leading with defense first. So like Kyle said, DeMeco Ryans just proved you don't need to be an offensive-minded head coach to develop a young QB, but you do need a good defensive system to be able to keep you in games.
So you're saying go get Raheem or Leslie Frazier and
get
whoever
a presence that's respected, a voice that's respected, a Leslie Frazier, someone who the defensive side of the ball, because when you're working with that much youth, yes, there's some real weeks where you guys are going to excel, but there's some weeks where you're going to look like the Packers did for that stretch where we were losing a lot of games. We didn't look like a real NFL offense because you're working with a lot of young 21, 22, 23-year-olds. You need that veteran leadership, either both on the offensive, defensive staff and coach, and rosters to kind of pull and galvanize these young guys and just help teach them how to be pros. So I think like a Leslie Frazier, a Raheem Mostert, a Rex Ryan, even sort of, I think that'd be good.
Oh, league has passed Rex Ryan by. He's talked too much smack on ESPN to come back to the NFL.
Listen, Atlanta Falcons, y'all better call John Gruden.
Atlanta Falcons, go get Justin Fields. That's it.
I'm saying y'all better call John Gruden to be your offensive coordinator.
The number of black people per capita in Atlanta might turn John Gruden into a full-blown grand wizard.
I'm telling you, I think John Gruden developing Justin Fields, that can give John Gruden enough time as a coordinator if he has the humility still to kind of build his name back up there. Then let's just say the Raiders go out and bring back Antonio Pierce, or they manage to go get like a Jim Harbaugh. Let's just say they don't work out in those first 3 years. If John Gruden's still over there offensively coaching the Falcons and they're having success, that's an easy way to go get your job back. John Gruden wants to coach the Raiders again. He loves coaching the Raiders. That's why I keep bringing John Gruden to the Raiders. The Raiders love John Gruden too. The Raiders love John Gruden. Danny, continuing in the NFL, of course, you know where we're going to start. In the NFC least, Danny, take it away. The Eagles losing to the Giants for the first time in how many years?
I think like 2 or 3. I don't know, man. Just get the season over with.
What is going?
I'm tired.
Listen, y'all got y'all's revenge against the Chiefs, and since then it has been nothing but nasty business.
It's gone downhill since the Bills game. It's gone downhill since the overtime win against the Bills. I don't know, man. You text me Sunday and you're like, what does Nick Sirianni do? I was like, dog, if I knew, I would tell you. I have no idea what Nick Sirianni does. The offense sucks. You put Matt Patricia in charge of the defense. What did I say? Last show, they had just lost to Seattle. What did I say the next show?
I see. I think you said something along the lines of, if whatchamacallit is calling your defensive plays, you are already in the gutter, because what is he going to do?
I said Drew Lock led a 92-yard touchdown drive to win the game. Them boys are cooked, and they've been cooked ever since.
Yeah, y'all have lost a few games this season that I hit you up, and I'm just like, I didn't watch that game because I thought y'all had that one in the bag and y'all lost. The Giants game was the one this year. I look up, y'all down like 28-0, and I said, there's no way this score is real.
Dog, like when AJ when he went out with his knee, I was like, turn it off. I thought AJ blew his knee. That MetLife turf almost claimed, and it might have, because we don't know if AJ playing on Monday night. And now I got to stay up and watch another Monday night game. I'm tired, man. I'm exhausted.
So, are you ready? Okay, so here's my question. When y'all won all them games in a row to start the season,
yep,
did you have worries that this team might be fraudulent?
No. I took that winning close games to me is a sign that you are a good team and you can fight adversity. Some people may say you get lucky, and maybe that's the case. I think this team changed the moment they decided to make Matt Patricia the defensive coordinator.
You think that's what has
Matt Patricia? Yeah, so they lost to San Francisco, they lost to Dallas, and then that week Sirianni's like, "Oh, we're gonna make Matt Patricia the defensive coordinator," and it's like, what? And the defense just got exponentially worse, which is hard because they were 22 in DVOA, and now they're like 29th in DVOA.
Where do I start?
The pass rush is ineffective. Now Hassan Reddick is dropping in coverage. Like, what's happening?
Here's what I say when I watch this year's version of the Eagles. Ladies and gentlemen, this is why when you get to the Super Bowl, it is so heartbreaking when you lose it, because you're never guaranteed to be that team again.
Never.
Brother, what I'm witnessing from the Philadelphia Eagles, the first thing that comes to mind is y'all should have gave Shane Steichen a check and just told him, put a number on it, and we'll figure it out.
Put a number. Because Nick
He took the
Sirianni's
whole
offense is
offense.
out him.
Yo, there are folks out here saying Nick Sirianni runs a high school offense. There are folks out here saying
he dead ass does.
There are folks out here saying that Nick Sirianni's play calling and offense is very predictable, and it's even been more predictable since Christian McCaffrey got on national television with Peyton and Eli and called a play out verbatim.
It's funny because Nick Sirianni still doesn't know how to handle the blitz. I have yet to see Jalen throw a hot route in the past 2.5 years. It's insane. Like the Giants, Marty had his players, 6 people on the line of scrimmage, and Nick was like, all right, well, let's just call a 7-step drop and throw a go ball. Like, dog, what? What are we doing here, Nick? Now, let me be clear. I'm not on the fire Nick train.
Sure.
But I understand. Nah, I'm not. You can't fire your head coach every 3 years. Doug lasted 3 years, fired. If Nick gets fired this year, that's 3 years. That's not the level of consistency. I would say Nick has earned the right to go into this offseason and pick an offensive coordinator that is not related to his offense at all. Give them the off. If he's going to be the CEO, if he's going to be Mike Tomlin, then he needs to be Mike Tomlin. Give the offense to somebody else. Hire a competent defensive coordinator, and he just needs to run the team. He needs to worry about vibes. That's all Nick needs to worry about, and creating a competitive environment. Like if you want to be the CEO head coach, then be the CEO head coach.
What do you say to the people who say that Nick Sirianni's best coaching days ended when he cried on camera at the Super Bowl?
I just think that's a way to make fun of him because people don't like him, which I get. People want to punch him in the face. Everyone knows a guy that looks like Nick Sirianni up north, and everyone that looks like Nick Sirianni is an asshole. So I get it.
Who do the Bucs end up playing next week after they beat the Eagles?
They would go to San Francisco, I believe.
No, No, because the Packers are going to win.
Oh, okay. So then they will go to Detroit.
Okay.
But if the Eagles win, the Eagles will go to San Francisco, which again, what are we doing here?
But again, that wouldn't happen if the Packers win.
Because the Packers are the 6th seed, right?
7th seed.
Oh, let me tell you something, brother. If you do this, like if y'all win and the Eagles win, and then the Eagles get to go to Detroit, we might be cooking. I
don't know, man, because if y'all go to Detroit and let Jared Goff get y'all out of here, I think I might laugh for 30 days and 30 nights.
I'll take it. Listen, man, I need y'all to do me a solid.
Listen, I'm going to let everyone know. Do you remember my Super Bowl pick from earlier this year?
It was Cowboys-Ravens.
I did not anticipate the Cowboys would play the Packers on the road to the Super Bowl. My heart is torn because I really want my Super Bowl prediction to be right, but I can't root against the Pack.
Wait, Kyle said, oh, okay. So Kyle thinks the Rams are going to go into Detroit and win. And if the Eagles win, so Kyle's saying all the lower seeds are going to win this weekend. All the road teams going to win this weekend, Kyle? Is that what you're telling me?
Hell no.
Kyle said this is a weekend for road warriors.
Hell no. I could see the Rams beating the Lions and Detroit because that team has more playoff experience, and I could definitely see the Lions pissing on themselves in the playoffs.
That's hate.
That's truth. But let's talk about these Packers. Ladies and gentlemen, a year ago, the Green Bay Packers at home played the Detroit Lions. All they had to do was win, and they were in, with the greatest quarterback of all time leading them. And we lost.
Yep. And you lost.
The last game of Aaron Rodgers' career. And as you walked off Lambeau Field, you saw him throw the wave with Randall Cobb. He had his arm around my boy Cobby. And you just knew that was the last game Aaron Rodgers would ever play in the Green Bay Packers uniform. And we were right. It was the last game he ever played in the Green Bay Packers uniform. But it gave Jordan Love the keys to the motherfucking Ferrari. The keys to the castle. Aaron Rodgers went to New York to play for the Jets. He played 4 snaps. Jordan Love has been the starting quarterback for the last 4 to 5 months of the Green Bay Packers. Ladies and gentlemen, He started off his career beating Chicago in Chicago, keeping the streak alive. Then over the next about 5 to 6 weeks, you found out really how young this team was. They went through some ups, they went through some downs. They lost some winnable games. They won. They may have won 1 or 2 games where they probably shouldn't have won, but they managed. They were in all these games. They just were too young to just really know how to win football games. Then Thanksgiving happened, and then guess what? They got it. They started figuring out how to win. Jordan Love, you just saw the evolution. You saw a franchise quarterback graduate from the Sam Darnold school of mediocrity to the young, promising Patrick Mahomes school of this guy, that boy flanging that thing. Because that's what they say now. When you watch Jordan Love play, you just, boy, that boy's slinging that football, boy.
I hope he does it Saturday night. Well, yeah, the Sunday afternoon.
So then you see Jordan Love and the Packers. They start winning some games. They beat the Lions. They beat the Chiefs. They beat the other. They get on a little run, and now you're saying, "Ooh, watch out! This team may be, they may be dangerous. They may be dangerous." They lost a few. Then they started when the season counted. When it got down to that win and end situation, they beat the Panthers. Then they went on the road and beat the Vikings. Then at home against their arch rival, the Bears, versus a quarterback who's trying to play for his job next year, a coaching staff that's trying to play for their job next year, a roster full of unproven talent trying to play for their jobs next year, knowing this team had the number 1 overall pick. At home, same situation as the year before. Win versus a division opponent, and you're in the fucking playoffs. And guess what Jordan Love did that my GOAT could not do?
What's that?
He won the damn game. He put the team on his back and said, no, we going to the playoffs.
Hey.
The Packers went on to handle the Chicago Bears, and because the Rams beat the 49ers this weekend, your Green Bay Packers are the 7th seed, and they are headed to Dallas to play the Cowboys Sunday afternoon. Danny, do the Packers have a shot?
I mean, they have a shot, right? We're talking about the Dallas Cowboys in the playoffs. But, man, I think we've seen what Dallas looks like on the road compared to what they look like at home. That place is going to be rocking. It's going to, like, the Packers have to score early. They have to. It has to be, like, into the first quarter. If it's 7-7, 7-10, I think we have a shot. Usually, the Cowboys like to come out and just overwhelm people at home. A pick six, block punt, or, some quick scores. Like if it's a close game after the first quarter, 100. Is Christian Watson playing?
I think he's looking to play this game.
Listen, man. And it's Stephon Gilmore. He is hurt, correct? I know he got hurt. I don't know his status.
I don't know his status yet. I'll look into that.
Like if it's just Deron Bland and somebody else on the other side, 100%. How's your O-line?
I think they're really good at pass blocking. I think as of late, we've had Aaron Jones. He's been toting it. Offensive line's actually been playing better because Aaron Jones, I think 3 weeks in a row.
You couldn't run on the Cowboys.
3 weeks in a row, Aaron Jones has went over 100 yards. Obviously, with the way Jordan Love's been playing this year, you can tell our line's been holding up well in pass protection. So pass protecting wise, I'm not afraid. I think, obviously they got some.
Well, but you can run.
They got some good.
You run on.
Yeah, they got some good pass rushers. So I think this would be the game to really get Aaron Jones going. And Aaron Jones loves playing the Cowboys. He has some of his better games against the Cowboys. I think all of us remember that one game where he gave the defender the bye-bye as he went into the end zone. Aaron Jones loves playing the Cowboys. And I think if there was a game to really let Aaron Jones get his game off, this would be that game. Let me tell you something. Matt LaFleur, if you just happen to be listening to this, brother, I'm predicting something. This D-Mixtradamus, real quick.
Oh, not D-Mix. We ain't seen this man in a minute.
Matt LaFleur, great head coach. You have really impressed me over your tenure so far. Let me tell you what you're going to do, Matt LaFleur. You're going to win this coin toss on Saturday or Sunday afternoon. Don't defer. Don't defer. Take the ball. Go score. Let them know early. We came to play.
Yeah. We came to
play. We ain't playing with y'all. Go.
Nope.
When you win this coin toss on Sunday, receive the ball. Elect to receive the ball. Go score a touchdown and let Dallas know We did not come to play because I'm going to tell you how this game's going to go. It's going to be a 35-30 shootout.
Yes, it's going to be. You're going to beat if you beat the Cowboys, you would beat the Cowboys the same way the Cardinals beat the Eagles. Same game plan.
What was that game plan?
It was just James Conner. It was just power. We pull in guards, we pull in centers, we put tight ends in the backfield, treat them like fullbacks, and we just gonna run.
Hey, the thing is, with this offense and these pass catchers, come down and try to play like if we really get the run game going and Christian Watson's playing and we have our full selection of young wide receivers, listen, it might be a problem to cover. This is what I'm also interested in Green Bay's future, right? It's clear Green Bay they're very, very good at finding talent and developing talent. I'm curious to know as this wide receiver room continues to get better, how do they manage to keep all these pieces between the Christian Watsons, Romeo Doubs, Dontavius Wicks, Bo Meltons? You got Jaden Reed.
You don't?
What do you mean?
You can't keep all those people. You can't pay all those.
I know. So I'm wondering.
And Jordan about to get an extension.
Jordan's going to get a good piece of. We gave him some money I think coming into the season, or even last season when we officially kind of named the starter. I think we reworked some of his contract to give him like maybe a 1 or 2 year extension. So we may have him for another year before we have to pay him. But I feel like after this year, they're probably going to,
lock that up.
So if I'm the Packers, do you look to move Christian Watson potentially while he still has some value knowing his health injury, or would you try to move a Romeo Doubs?
Who's going to get paid first? Who's up to get paid
Romeo
first?
Doubs and Christian Watson are drafted in the same draft.
Okay. Who do you prefer?
Christian Watson's probably the more dynamic big play receiver. Romeo Doubs is probably the more consistent receiver because he's more healthy.
Oh, Kyle says you got 2 more years to figure it out.
We do have 2 more years, but I'm saying, Kyle, in about 2 years, we're going to be looking at this Green Bay wide receiver room saying, yo, I think this may be the best wide receiver room in the league.
That'd be impressive.
Jamie says, get rid of Doubs. He's not anything specific. See, that's the thing, though. He's consistent. Consistent his production, I should say. Consistent his production. I'm of the mindset I would try to trade Christian Watson while you try to still have some value. It's me, though. Danny.
I just hope you win.
Listen, I'm going with the Pack, but if the Cowboys lose, if the Cowboys win, listen, I'm going to say this. I think coming to the season, a lot of Green Bay Packers fans, the one thing that we wanted to make sure was, is Jordan Love the guy? We found out that he is, and then some. I think since we found that out, just being here in the playoffs, that is what, obviously, I think that's way above where we want it to be. So now, I just think we're at a point now, if you're a Packers fan, you're probably like me. You're just like, hey, well, if we're here for a reason. Let's try to go fucking win this thing. That's where I'm at.
Do you know what's going to happen? And this is going to, hold on, let me pull this up because I want to make sure I'm talking and saying the right thing. Where's this playoff bracket? So there's going to be a unit. I got it. Here it is. You know what's going to happen? The Rams are going to win and the Eagles are going to win. And that means the Eagles are going to have to go to Dallas next week. And I am going to lose my mind.
Let's go. A Cowboys-Eagles divisional game. Woo!
I am going to lose my mind.
Whoa, baby. We're here on the wild card weekend. So you got Philly, you got Dallas, you got.
I don't know if I got Philly. I'll say this, betting wise, last time I checked, the Eagles are 3-point favorites over the Tampa Bay. Take your paycheck, take the points. I don't know why Eagles are favorites in anything, as you were saying.
If I'm a betting man, whatever the Baker Mayfield passing yard line is,
take over. Take the over. I don't care if it's 500. Take the over. Yeah. Whatever the Mike Evans receiving yards are, take the over. No, Darius Slay is back. Whatever whoever's Bradbury going to be on, it's probably going to be Godwin. Take the over. Just take the over. And anytime.
Here's what I'm going to say. Here's what I'm going to say for the NFC. I like the Rams. Danny, I'm sorry. I like the Bucks.
It's okay. That's the Eagles have done nothing to help make you believe that they would.
I like the Rams. I like the Bucks. And I'm not going to bet against the squad. So of course I'm going to go with Green Bay.
And I'm going to
But I won't be surprised if Dallas wins.
I want to pick Green Bay, but I'm going to pick Dallas. I'm going to take Philadelphia because I'm a moron. And I am going to take the Lions.
Okay.
I'm going to regret it because they're the Lions.
Here's what I'm going to say about the Lions. The Lions were trying to win that. The Lions were actually trying in the second half of that game last week versus the Vikings, and the Vikings was still keeping – the Vikings with Nick Mullins still threw for over like 300 or 400 yards. So
yeah, you're right. Let me take the Rams. The Rams have been here before.
Nah, take the Lions. Stay with the pick.
Nah, you're right. You're right.
Nah, stay with the Lions. Stay with the Lions.
So I'm taking Dallas, Philadelphia, and the Rams.
I'm taking the Rams, Tampa Bay, and of course the other Green Bay.
All right.
In the AFC, I'm going to be honest with you. If you asked me 3-4 weeks ago if the Dolphins were going to find a way to lose the AFC East, I would have told you no way. Nonetheless, here we are. They definitely lost the AFC East. So now we have Steelers versus Bills, Browns versus Texans, and Dolphins versus Chiefs in the Tyreek Hill Invitational. Danny, I think both of us are taking the Browns to beat the Texans.
Yep.
Steelers, Bills. Who you got?
I got the Bills because TJ Watt is out. You think Mason Rudolph? I know the Josh Allen experience is a heart attack every week. If Josh Allen finds a way to lose to Mason Rudolph and the Steelers without TJ Watt, we're going to have a serious conversation next week. Serious. A dead-ass conversation.
I think the Steelers are going to find a way to shut down the run and try to make Josh Allen have to make the Bills make Josh Allen have to beat them with hero ball. And I think they're going to play sound enough defense under Mike Tomlin because they are so well coached. I'm going to take the Steelers in this game. I like this.
Happens.
I like this in a like 19-16 type game.
If you because last year they lost to the Bengals at home. If you lose to the Steelers at home, who buddy?
Steelers aren't afraid to play in the cold. Defense travels.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying last year they lost to the Bengals at home as favorites.
I think the Steelers are going to coach to play the run and play the run first because that's what the Bills have been trying to do since Joe Brady took over. And I think it's going to force Josh Allen to make some real hero ball like moments. And I think the Steelers on defense are good enough to capitalize. And I see the Steelers winning this game. I like the Browns as well.
Okay.
Dolphins and Chiefs. Here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to take the Chiefs in this game because it is cold in Kansas City, and I think the Chiefs are going to run the football. And I think with all the injuries Miami has and the fact that Miami is not a team that's built to play in the cold, this game will probably be 13-7 Chiefs, but it will be 13 of the hardest earned points because it will. I feel like the Dolphins are going to be winning this game 7-0 for most of it, and the Chiefs are going to score. They're going to score late in the third, and they're going to kick a couple field goals, and that'll be the game.
I too am picking the Chiefs. It is 80 degrees in Miami right now, and it's going to be in the negatives wind chill wise Saturday night. Nope. I am taking the Chiefs.
So here's my problem with that, Kyle. Yes, Miami can run the ball, but Kansas City can too. And I think if you make Miami one-dimensional enough in inclement weather, and like you have a good feeling that they're not going to be able to throw the football even with Cheetah on the field.
Here's what's Miami's record against playoff teams this year. It's abysmal.
It's not good.
It's the playoffs.
It's not good. Yeah, I like the Chiefs in a 13-7 type game. We got Baltimore and San Fran, our number 1 seed, so we'll see who they play next week. I like Baltimore to play. I like Baltimore to play the Steelers next week in a Steelers-Ravens rematch.
That would be fun.
And then I like the Browns to travel to Kansas City next week. So I see the Chiefs and Browns a divisional matchup and the Ravens-Steelers divisional matchup. And I'm going to tell you right now, if these matchups come to fruition next week, Y'all might be surprised at who I picked, but let's get through the wild card weekend first. And then my early predictions for divisional matchups in the NFC will be San Fran versus Green Bay and Tampa Bay hosting the Rams.
Yes.
That's hilarious because I'm going to tell y'all like this. Never mind. Again, that'll be another one where y'all might be surprised at who I pick. Danny, it's
not also, Baker Mayfield in the NFC Championship game.
Listen, it's also NFL Black Monday. It was NFL Black Monday yesterday,
which is low key kind of racist. Keep going.
It's very racist, but NFL. We're gonna speak on that. We're gonna bring Dr. Umar up here to really speak on it.
The hell we not.
So here are some of the open jobs right now. So we got the Titans as of earlier today, the Commanders, the Falcons, the Chargers, the Raiders, and the Panthers. What do you think is the most intriguing job right now?
So I actually ranked them. So for me, the hardest thing to do in the NFL is to find a quarterback. So to me, the most intriguing job by far is the Chargers job. You have the quarterback. He is locked up. You got nothing to worry about on that front. Hardest thing is to find a quarterback. For me, the second one is the Commanders. You got the number 2 overall pick. You're going to have Caleb Williams. You're going to have Drake May. If you really want one, you go to Chicago. You're going to have to give up a lot, but you're not going to have to give up too much to get the number one overall pick to get your guy. Falcons, you got everything but a QB. You got everything but the QB. Raiders, you have some building blocks. They're older, but you got something. And then I put the Titans and the Panthers on the same tier because, buddy, you're gonna need a lot of patience if you're a Panthers or a Titans fan.
I think the most intriguing job right now is the Commanders and the Titans. I think with the Commanders, you have a lot of money in free agency, new ownership, probably like new GMship, and you have the number 2 overall pick. So really, you can take this franchise in whatever direction you want to take it as soon as you're hired. The Titans, I say that because defensively, they're tough, they're rugged. You have some good young pieces on the offensive end, including Will Levis, Tajay Spears. I think with their draft pick, you'll probably be in a position where you can go get maybe like a Romo Dunze or maybe a Malik Napers, mix them with Will Levis, who we've seen been able to play the position at a decent enough level. Maybe you get one more year with him to kind of help determine maybe if he's the future, maybe if you might need to look at getting someone like a Shador Sanders next year. I think, you have D-Hop, so you at least have like even if you draft a really, really young receiver, you have a veteran presence in the locker room that can help guide him in being a pro. So I could definitely see that. After that, I would lean into the Falcons and the Raiders and the Panthers. I kind of have them on that secondary tier of intriguing. Falcons and Panthers, both. I think the Panthers have, while they have issues and holes at a lot of positions, I don't think quarterback is one of them. I think Bryce Young can get him there. You just got to start building around him. And if you bring in the right staff, you can really start developing him young. And I think with the Falcons, you're in a position where maybe you look to trade your first round pick. Maybe you go get a Justin Fields and see if that can be it. Or maybe you look around the league and say, hey, who could we maybe we go get a Russell Wilson as a veteran QB just to bridge the gap into maybe a next year where we maybe look to go get it like a Shador Sanders or someone like that. So I could definitely see some interest there. And then the Raiders, you have Aiden O'Connell who over, since he's been the starter over the back half of the season, threw for a little over 2,000 yards, maybe 12 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. He's had some games where you see it there. I think he plays the position well enough. Obviously, you got a good offensive line, you got a good defense, or defensive line, I should say. You got a young running back in Zamir White. You got Josh Jacobs. You got Devontae Adams. There's some pieces on this offense in Las Vegas, and there's a culture there. So I think if you're Antonio Pierce, if you're Jim Harbaugh potentially, or anyone who gets that job, there's some pieces you can work with. And I think there's a culture in Las Vegas within the Raiders franchise that if you really fit it, I think you can be competitive, if not next year, the year after, and soon after. I actually think the Chargers is the least intriguing job because why is that? Because it is the most win now role out of all of them. So taking this job means that if you're not in the playoffs this year or next year, you're probably looking to get fired in that span too. I don't really see a lot of intrigue there. Yeah, you have Justin Herbert, but you have a roster full of old guys. You got a roster full of. You're just if you become the head coach of the Chargers, you're you're basically inheriting the Golden State Warriors just without a championship history. So you're inheriting a lot of old guys, a good young QB, and now you got to kind of figure out how to manage this roster with the cap. I don't know how real intriguing that is to me.
I got you.
So,
any more on the way?
Bill.
I wrote that down.
Bill.
Time to go, Bill.
It might be, brother. I'm waiting on the surprise firing.
So that was my next question for you, because I think we both know, we have a feeling. Do you think the Eagles fire Nick Sirianni? If they lose to Tampa Bay Monday night, do they fire Nick Sirianni?
No.
Okay. So in your mind, who's the surprise firing?
Man. Matt Eberflus.
Really? You don't think they would have done it by now? I feel like a surprise firing is going to have to come from a playoff team, because
but
what are you waiting for?
But who would be the I guess who would be that?
It'd be Sirianni. I don't think it'd be Sirianni, but if anyone,
you can't fire someone a year after they made.
I agree. I am with you. I'm not on the fire Nick Sirianni train. I'm saying out of all the coaches in the playoffs right now, who was most like Mike McCarthy? Jerry Jones didn't give him a stamp of approval. He said, "We'll see what happens."
Maybe someone like Pete in Seattle. Maybe someone like
I think Seattle would give Pete the respect to walk away. I don't think they'd fire him. But then again, like that, yeah, McDermott, Kyle.
That's a good one.
But you know what? Ever since McDermott has embraced 9/11, he undefeated.
In my 9/11. Listen, Sean McDermott, next time you want to make a 9/11 reference, just know Rick Ross got a song. Use that.
Dog, that was the funniest story of the.
Let's get to some of our NFL awards.
Let's do it.
Let's start with Coach of the Year.
D'Amico Ryans, but I understand if someone said Kevin Stefanski.
I'm going to actually go with Kevin Stefanski.
Okay.
I think when you lose your QB1 and your QB2 and you have to bring in Joe Flacco and you still manage to win 11 games, that's impressive.
And you lose Nick Chubb.
A big part of your offense. That's really impressive. Shout out Coach Stefanski. I think.
Yep.
Rookie of the Year, CJ Stroud.
No question over here. No pushback.
I think he is the odds-on favorite. He will win it. Defensive Player of the Year, Myles Garrett. This is your year, brother.
Really? Because I said TJ Watt.
Why TJ Watt?
TJ Watt had 19 sacks this year.
Have you seen Myles Garrett play football?
100% seen Myles Garrett play
football.
So
is Defensive Player of the Year just the sack leader award?
It is when you're leading by as many sacks as TJ Watt. Hold on. Let me see how many. I looked this up earlier because Myles Garrett has like 14. Yeah. TJ Watt has a whole sack and a half over the rest of the league. That's impressive.
Man, listen. Myles Garrett.
Like Myles Garrett isn't even top 5 in sacks. But I understand it's more than sacks. But that is usually
they gave it to Aaron Donald a few years, and I know he wasn't leading the league in sacks.
Well, he's Aaron. He led for sacks and defensive tackles.
Okay, true. Offensive Player of the Year.
Tyreek.
I think it will be Christian McCaffrey, actually. I think Tyreek kind of fell off the last couple.
Okay. I had no pushback from me.
Yeah, Tyreek kind of fell off the last couple weeks of the season. I don't really like the Niners, but I think when you score a touchdown in 15, 16 straight games.
Yeah, no argument here.
MVP. You're not going
to.
Go ahead.
It's Lamar. What are we talking about here?
I agree. It should be Lamar MVP, but for the sake of this conversation, Dak Prescott.
Come on, dog. All right. I've seen this argument bubble in the past couple of weeks.
Dak Prescott.
All right.
I say,
all right.
Listen. Listen. Dak has been nothing short of amazing this year. I think this is probably
100%
his best season as a pro. And shout out to him for coming back stronger this year after last year. So much scrutiny. I think what he does in the playoffs will go a long way. But I would give it to Lamar. Best record in tie for best record in the league. #1 overall seed. plenty of good wins on calendar, but I would make the argument for Dak just in the sake of
my question would be for Dak, and I know this doesn't count, right? Because we talk about the Heisman. It's like, oh, what's their Heisman moment? Like for me, Lamar's is walking into San Francisco on Christmas Day and beating the piss out of them. Like what?
National TV.
I mean, what? Yeah. So what? I mean, Dak has the blowout against the Eagles at home. The thing about Dak is, I think what just not discredits him, what takes away from him is that defense or special teams. Like they seem to score a touchdown, especially in the beginning of the year. Like Dak would hit the field up 7-0 because he already his defense spots him 7, and it's just cruise control.
Well, hey, we can't.
And that's not his fault. It's not his fault that he has a great defense because Lamar has a great defense too.
Yeah. So what's the difference between your defense getting a turnover and scoring before you touch the ball, and your defense getting a quick 3 and out, and you touching the ball and you going up 7 off of the offense? That's the difference between Dak and Lamar.
Yeah, but Lamar's
and there were some games where Lamar started off 7-0 too. So
yeah, but I mean, I think one thing about Dallas is, especially at home, is their thing is we come out swinging and we overwhelm you and win, and that's mostly the defense.
Hey, that's what happens when you're a good team.
Hey, I'm not. If Dak won, I would understand, but I feel like this is Lamar's award to lose.
All right, let's get into some quick hitter stuff, and we'll just incorporate a number of things in this one. All
right, let's do it.
Staying in the NFL, Aaron Rodgers said they need to get rid of distractions going into next year. Is this the pot calling the kettle black? Big deal or no deal?
Massive deal. You know, and I'll say this really quickly. D, I don't know. I know how old you are. There was a time in this country when stupid people used to say stuff, and we would say, "Hey, dog, you're stupid," and that stupid person either read a book or they shut up. And now we live in a world where stupid people take pride in being stupid by calling themselves free thinkers. Bring bullying back. Bring bullying back and make these people feel wrong for being stupid. So stop making stupid people feel
Aaron
like
Rodgers
they're smart.
Is the distraction?
Yes. Aaron Rodgers is what's the Garfield meme or what's the SpongeBob meme?
Spider-Man
he has the walkie looking for the Spider-Man. All the memes where someone's talking about themselves. It's Aaron Rodgers. Like even today on McAfee, he was wilding.
About Jimmy Kimmel, right?
Yeah, he was like, well, I didn't say Jimmy Kimmel was a pedophile. Dog, yes, you did. We heard you.
That's my GOAT, and I will not go against him. Aaron Rodgers. All I'm going to say is sometimes we have to look inward before we look outward.
Bring back bullying.
NFL top 5 in terms of draft is the Bears, the Commanders, the Patriots, the Cardinals, the Chargers. Where do you think Caleb Williams goes?
Caleb Williams, welcome to Chocolate City. You and Jordan Poole going to be running through some things here in D.C.
Caleb Williams, that's all I'm going to say. When you and a few of my partners going to be dabbling in the same swimming pool, so I'm going to hear about you. That's all I'm saying. Up in D.C. All right, shifting to the NBA. Some funny stuff. First off, we want to send our biggest prayers up to Ja Morant after that injury.
Yeah, that sucks, man.
Just come back. They were really hooping when he was back. Got hurt in practice, so prayers up to Ja.
He's done for the year, right? He tore his labrum.
He's out for the year. Which I was like, damn. I was like, damn. The year just started. Now I remember, no, it's January. The year just started for him. So
for him, yeah. Damn. But they're beating the Mavericks right now. Crazy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're up 3 against the Mavericks right now.
That's the game plan behind me. Draymond Green and Adam Silver were meeting together and openly crying because Draymond Green wanted to retire after the most recent suspension. Danny, big deal or no deal?
Massive deal. Draymond, stop punching your coworkers. That's all Adam's asking you. That's it. Just stop punching people.
Listen, I think we all got that family member that's just dramatic for no reason. Like even when they tell you stories, you just be like, all right, dog. Some of this is exaggerated. Draymond Green.
Did you hear the story about his daughter, how he sat in his man cave for 3 days and no one knew he was home but his wife? Did you hear that story?
Tell me that story.
So he got on his podcast and he essentially said, like, after the suspension, he was so down, he went into his man cave and he sat there for 3 days and didn't leave. His wife knew he was home, but none of his kids did. So his daughter FaceTimes him, recognizes that he's in his man cave, and walks in there to say hi to her father. And what's the point of that story?
Draymond, this is what I'm saying. I think Danny said this a little bit earlier. Adam Silver is not asking you to solve the race relations issue. He's not asking you to to bridge the gap between Democrats and Republicans. He's not asking you to figure out universal health care in this country. He's simply asking that when you show up to play basketball, we don't try to box each other.
That's it. That's all.
Adam Silver is saying his version in the NBA, there will be no malice in this palace.
He just said, hey, man, stop punching and kicking people. That's it. That's something you tell a kindergartner on the way to school. Hey, let's try not to bite somebody.
Now imagine, could you imagine what Draymond said to Adam Silver, like, to bring up retirement? Like, how does retirement get brought in? Draymond, listen,
let me tell you something.
We can't keep doing this. I think this time we're gonna have to sit you down for a while and let you kind of just figure this out, because we just can't have this. Can't have this. And do you think Draymond was like, but fuck it, I'll retire?
Let me tell you something. And he said that. I'm sure Adam had to play it off, but internally, Adam was like, perfect. Get out.
Yo, every old head across the nation basically was saying the same thing about Draymond Green after the suspension got announced. Ain't no way they bring him back, man. And then you ask the old head, well, why do you think that? Shit, a motherfucker like me, had it been a motherfucker like me, and Draymond tried that shit with me, I'm going to let Adam Silver know I'm going to fuck him up. Every old head across America was saying that. I'm going to let Adam Silver know I'm going to fuck him up.
Which is funny because every old head across America wants basketball to come back from the 80s.
Yeah, and every time I'm like, all right, so what you're telling me is that you would respond to his clear physical aggression in your place of business and work with more physical aggression, resulting in even more physical violence. And they like, you think I'm gonna let a motherfucker just punch me? I'm like, okay.
Well, that's what you want. Right. And while we're here about that, I know we have to keep moving. There are a bunch of old heads that think hand checking would have stopped LeBron, and y'all are high as hell. Y'all are on coke.
I hope them not the same old heads that are on social media telling Drewski, hey, my brother, I don't like that. My brother,
he got the cues in the chokehold.
Yo, but he was so right. Yo, them cute. Listen, man, Steve Kerr told Klay Thompson to enjoy sunshine while it can, because, brother, you are not him anymore. Big deal or no deal?
Steve Kerr having a lot of real conversations right now, and I wish we could get the audio. Hey, Klay, this is the downturn in your career, man. Enjoy it, because you might not have a spot on his team next year.
Listen,
that's what he really wanted to say.
This is all Steve Kerr is telling me with some of these quotes is this dude was really teammates with Michael Jordan.
Yes.
He was really
coming out
because he's bringing some of that real authentic 90s honesty into 2023 basketball. And if you understand exactly what he's saying, this isn't a hurtful quote, but if you are a little bit sensitive and coddled like some of these newer age athletes, this quote stings.
And Steve Kerr, low-key, probably told him, I'm going to try to trade you.
Probably.
Start looking at homes in Orlando. Get some Disney ears.
They got they got a good team over there. Listen, it's getting cold, so that can only mean one thing. It's time for the LeBron and the Lakers to trade everybody.
Tale as old as time.
Losers of 4 of their last 5. They won their last game against the Clippers. Danny, do you think the Lakers will make a move for Zach LaVine?
They have to. They absolutely. Anthony Davis is playing out of his mind, and they still suck. How much more Anthony Davis of this version of Anthony Davis do you have? Do what you have to do with the best team around him on LeBron.
I don't think they make the move for Zach LaVine. I do think they potentially look to get more depth. I think that's where they're kind of missing. Listen, LeBron and AD are doing their thing. Austin Reeves is providing that solid third scoring option. I think after that, it just gets real shaky. The Lakers' formula to win is defense, points in the paint, and timely three-point shooting. We are not the Golden State Warriors when it comes to having these type of shooters, but we need guys on the roster that can make threes when they need to make threes. Giannis was after their most recent loss was basically saying that everybody needs to be better. Everybody from the players, the coaching staff, the equipment guys, to the, everybody needs to do better. What the hell is he talking about exactly?
Where was this energy when you needed your brother to go get you the game ball?
Oh, brother. First off, I really can't believe. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, The Bucks have not beaten the Pacers since that game, and they lost the season series to the Bucks like 1-4. So out of the 5 games the Bucks and the Pacers played, the Bucks won 1. So which makes that whole ball thing even funnier because you really did this for that one game that y'all lost. I mean, y'all won.
Where are you, Dame? Where are you?
Listen, all I'm saying is if I'm the Bucks right now, I'm just looking at Drew Holiday cooking over there on the Celtics saying, damn, we could have sent them Chris Middleton. We could have sent them Chris Middleton. Chris Middleton don't know what to do out there, brother. Listen, The Rock versus Roman Reigns. The Rock said he might be getting food at the head of the table. Is this a big deal or no deal?
Massive. This is the biggest deal of the rest of wrestling this year. If that happens, that means Roman's going to drop the belt at the Rumble.
I think the opposite. I think if it happens, Roman will not drop the belt because that belt is so prestigious now that how could you give it to The Rock and expect The Rock to really defend it like a champion? Roman's at least around long enough that he'll be around to defend it.
That's what I'm saying. If Roman has the belt, then he's going to win WrestleMania, and we all know it. If he drops it at the Rumble, then there's a chance.
But he would
that this is the end of the bloodline.
But he wouldn't. No, because they're not giving it to Randy Orton, AJ Styles, or LA Knight.
I think they'd give it to, yeah. So here's the only problem with that is because Cody needs to win it at WrestleMania, right?
Cody's
to finish the story.
Cody's finishing the story, but his story don't have a belt. His story never had a belt's name. Brother just wanted to win a championship. Cody will be taking on CM Punk and Seth Rollins at WrestleMania, and probably one of the best triple threat matches we've seen since last year's WrestleMania triple threat.
Now sign me up for that.
Because
when you put it like that, I don't. Well, then no, Roman will not drop it. But he needs to win clean at the Rumble because I don't think he has a clean title defense yet.
He will. He will because I think he's going to. That's why they got LA Knight. LA Knight's getting pinned. LA Knight will be the one.
Yes, LA Knight's the guy getting pinned.
LA Knight's 100%, and I could definitely see AJ Styles accidentally costing Randy Orton the belt, which leads to them feuding at WrestleMania. Which then will have Roman pinning LA Knight, facing The Rock at WrestleMania, winning that match. Which then I have CM Punk and Cody Rhodes being the last 2 members in the ring for the Royal Rumble, and having like a 05 John Cena moment where they will both fall over at the same time, and they will both be deemed winners. And Seth will say, I'll take you both.
Let me ask you a question.
What's that?
This happens, right? Roman beats Rock at WrestleMania to retain the title. Who on the roster has the credibility then to pin him? Because it's no one. The only person you got is Solo, because Solo pinned John Cena. And he's in the same fan. Like, that's it. You're putting all your chips on Solo, which is fine.
I'm here to let you know I don't think Roman Reigns loses the belt in 2024.
I don't think so either, but we have to at least keep the illusion that he could.
Or you don't.
Then it's not fun. Like the past year, like Cody's been in the shadows, Solo's been climbing the ladder, Jay had that moment in the sun, Sammy was never going to win.
Yeah.
But there's always been like some sort of realistic threat on the horizon.
I will tell you that if by chance we get Seth versus CM Punk at WrestleMania and Cody versus Roman, I don't think that's as fun as The Rock versus Roman and Cody.
Oh no, I agree.
CM Punk. So that's all.
100% agree.
Speaking of people who will want the smoke, KATT Williams wants to smoke with everyone, ladies and gentlemen. Last week, he and Shannon Sharp maybe had the most viral interview of the year so far, where KATT Williams basically said he's had enough of the lies from Cedric the Entertainer, Ricky Smiley, Steve Harvey, and a number of other people. KATT Williams is done with the lies. Danny, what were your thoughts? And is this a big deal or no deal? KATT Williams coming to the forefront with this information.
It's kind of a big deal. It's hilarious. I will say it's funny that KATT Williams was saying everyone was a liar while he at the same time was out here telling some of the biggest lies I've ever heard. That man said he read 3,000 books a year. Do you know how many books that is a week? I did the math.
Go ahead.
That's 57 books a week.
Maybe he got time. He said he always on the road too.
No, that's
my man said he ran a 4.40. That's
I believe that.
Books.
Hold on. So 3,000 divided by 12. I'm sorry, that's 250 books a month.
Oh, divide that by 12. Divide 250 by 4 weeks.
That's 62 and a half books a week.
Hey, that's like 3 books a day.
Divide that by 7. That's 9 books a day. And he said they were not fiction. They were.
Let me tell y'all something. If y'all think math is one of my better subjects, no, it is not.
Same here. I suck at math.
Listen, Katt Williams, this is all I'm going to say. Anytime someone starts an interview off with, you have a strange allegiance to losers, and I'm surprised by you.
Hilarious. That was a bar.
Yeah. Listen, Katt just basically, the summary of Katt's rant was, yo, some of y'all really not even comedians like that. You shouldn't be speaking on comedies because some of y'all really not funny. And then I thought about that, and I was like, well, how is this different than when rappers say, yo, some of y'all can't rap?
It's not different. And in that respect, I agree with him because a lot of people he called out, they are not funny. I've never laughed at anything Kevin Hart has ever said.
They are not. But on the flip side, Katt Williams, this is what I would say. When they tell you, yeah, I'm not funny, but I make XYZ millions, you got to eat that.
You got to eat that.
He said he's not rich in monetarily, he's rich in spirit, and that everything that he wants, he has.
Yeah, that's what broke people say. I say that all the time.
But he's not broke, though.
You know, I mean, in compared to the people he was hating on, yeah, he broke in their eyes.
Yeah, but he also said,
which is great because I feel like I'm
if you could buy everything that you wanted and then you still had a lot excess left over, you just weren't rich as dude who has 15x of what you make. I don't think that's an indictment on you.
That's fair. I like to think that in the same realm as Katt Williams.
What do you think Diddy? How do you think Diddy looks? You think Diddy be like feels offended when Jeff Bezos calls him broke? It's like, yo, bro, like, bro, I made, like, yo, if I'm, yo, Jeff Bezos, I found Biggie. You made Amazon. What are we talking about here?
Oh, and Diddy really came from nothing. Jeff got a loan from his parents, right?
See, that's all I'm saying.
And Diddy trying to go to jail.
Now, I'm glad Bam brought this up because Katt Williams said Ludacris was with him in that potential Illuminati interest meeting, and next thing you know, Luda was in all these Fast and Furious movies, and then Luda responded with a freestyle. So Bam said Luda wrote a poem to a comedian. I said the same thing. I said, bro, you
really? I thought that their freestyle was dope, except the Ludanami. Take that out. That was whack.
I was sitting there like, wait a minute, hold on. So
but that's how he's not a comedian though.
I was like, yo, so instead of clowning a comedian, you came back with bars, like.
But that's not his strength though. That's not Luda's strength. If you
around Tyrese on Fast and Furious.
If you good in the paint, like you want Shaq to go shoot threes, or you want Shaq to dunk on somebody.
He got a few 3 attempts though.
No, you want Shaq to dunk on somebody. If you're not a stand-up comedian, you don't come at a comedian with jokes. You come with your
you still got to come with something. You hit up another comedian like, yo, brother, come on, give me some material.
No, he can't go round for round jokes with Katt. Katt will roast that man to kingdom come, but he can't rap. You got to stick to what you know, because if he had came out with some jokes, he'd really be catching it right now. He'd be catching it from us and Katt.
Whoa, pause.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Freak ass boy. Listen, one thing that we do know though, winning fantasy football championships is not easy.
No, it's not.
Last year, I won my biggest league and felt like I was hot shit as a manager and decided to add 3 more leagues this year. Some of my best teams I've ever drafted across fantasy didn't make the playoffs this year because I just had too much depth. But I did manage to win 1 fantasy football championship this year that was able to pay for a night of drinks at Disney World on New Year's night for me and my girl.
Congratulations. I won 1 league this year myself, and it was the only league where there was no money involved. It was just some old co-workers. We play every year as a way to keep in touch. But I dominated whistle to whistle.
I would have asked everyone to at least send me $1. Y'all paying for something.
What's good about this league is like I usually it was 12, now it's 10. I usually float around the bottom because I don't pay attention to that league because again there's no money in it. I usually draft, set the lineup, and kind of forget it. Last year I finished third, and I finally won the league, so I feel nice. But there was no money.
Yep, I guess it's next year. I've decided I'm cutting my league count down. I think probably to 5 or 6. I have to determine. I just won this one league that I was thinking about leaving, so I'm thinking I might have to come back and defend my title, which then would put
you should. You have to defend. And while we're on fantasy, I know we're about to shift to Dynasty. Akili, I know you can hear me. You know what to do.
What does he know to do?
He knows. Akili, I know you lurking somewhere in this chat.
But what does he know to do, though?
He knows.
What are you trying to trade him for, AJ Brown?
Akili. You know what to do, Akili.
You've been trying to trade for AJ Brown for years. That brother ain't going nowhere.
Akili,
remember what he said when you came in here, cussing up a storm?
Akili came in here dropping slurs.
Listen, all I'm gonna say is this: Bam, I didn't send you a bad trade the other night. Let me send you this trade I sent Bam, and when he denied it, I was like, "What?" I was actually surprised because I was like, "Go ahead."
I'm sorry. No, you.
I was like, "Yo, this isn't a bad trade." So I was going to send Bam, Romeo Dubs, Jerome Ford, Cole Kmet, and 301, and I was going to get Jahad Dotson, Dontavius Wicks in 210.
He said that's garbage. Bam has one tight end on his roster. I was like, "Hey, dog, let's get you some depth." He said, "Now I'm pick one up on the waiver wire." What,
bro? I offered him Cole Kmet, Romeo Dubs, and Jerome Ford, and the first pick of the 3rd round. He was going to move back one draft pick.
He said no
to get 3 players.
And then you talk shit about Michigan. That's why he didn't want to do business with you.
No, after you did not, I was like, "Yo, no, this wasn't a bad trade. That was just Bam being silly." Which next week we're gonna have to talk. We're gonna have a talk about in Dynasty League people putting emotions before like decent decent offers, because that was not a bad offer. I gave you 2 running backs, including a young one, a young tight end, and all you had to do was move back a draft pick.
You know what's funny? I was looking at
okay.
Ford is a fraud. All right. I didn't realize the little treasure chest I had built up over the year.
What do you mean?
We can do some damage.
We talking about with your team or your draft picks?
Draft picks, the team, like just the team overall. Team overall is okay, but the draft picks, I have 101, 201, 204, 209, 310, a first next year, 2 seconds next year, 3 thirds next year. Turn it into Danny Ainge.
Yeah, but you ain't doing shit with these picks.
You don't think so?
You doing about as much as Bam is doing right now. Bam,
that's crazy. Why? You can talk shit to Bam, but why are you talking shit to me?
Yeah,
because I've won this league. I've touched the mountaintop.
Yeah, here we go. And pause.
What? Touch the mountaintop? That ain't no.
Yeah,
no, that's not. Unpause me. Play me. That is not a pause.
What about Dalton Kincaid?
We can talk about Dalton Kincaid. Listen,
we're not talking. I'm not moving no one else. After the Bam trade rejection, I was like, "Yo, this league is hilarious because how do y'all evaluate talent?"
I ain't making a trade until Akili come talk to me.
No, serious question, Danny. Do you not wonder in this league, how do some of y'all evaluate talent?
Sometimes, but then again, I've made some trades in this league that have been questionable too. So sometimes I just be quiet.
Oh man, Bam! I'm gonna be laughing.
Like I've gotten better.
That was not a bad trade offer. Bam! Nick Chubb tore his ACL and MCL. You think he just go? All right. And you think after Jerome Ford's year this year, You think out of him, Nick Chubb, and Kareem Hunt, they gonna cut Jerome Ford? The first year back? Man, don't hit me up either.
He a fraud. He said you're a fraud.
Don't hit me up either.
Achilles. Come on now.
Even right now, he faces very little competition to be the backup role, even in the return of Nick Chubb. Is that not hilarious? Bam. Mark my word. I'm going to keep Jerome Ford on my roster. Bam. Mark my words. You are going to regret not trading for Jerome Ford. But if you are interested in Romeo Doubs, he is very much available, Bam, and we can talk about it. But if Romeo Doubs is the only person you're interested in, Bam, I'm going to let you know right now while you're here. Really, Bam, the only person I want is Dontavian Wicks. And if you're not trying to give up Dontavian Wicks, then 210. I would give you Romeo Doubs for 210.
Okay. Yeah. We're gonna get is Ramondre Stevenson on the block?
Nah.
All right.
Nah.
I was gonna send you an offer the other day, but I figured I'd ask you first if I go through all that.
Now I have Ramondre Stevenson. I have a few players across both fantasy leagues, both dynasty leagues, including Romeo Doubs and Ramondre Stevenson. I'm like, I might hold on to.
All right. Pam said, "Don't sell me back up and say he's almost a starter."
So here's my thing, Bam. So what Bam is telling me is that Nick Chubb, after 3 major knee surgeries, is just going to be the Browns are going to continue. Okay,
Bam. That's exactly what he's saying.
Okay, all right. Okay, Bam.
That's exactly what he's saying.
You know, because you know where I'm going, right? Yep. Like, how many more knees he think Nick Chubb got? I'm trading Wicks for, oh my god, this guy.
Now I think he's just trolling you.
Okay, Bam. Bye. Danny, I guarantee you he's gonna look back on that trade offer maybe about a year and say, I probably should have took you that deal. Okay. And he didn't want Danny. I was going to give him Romeo Doubs, Jerome Ford, and Cole Kmet, and take his 2nd round pick. And he was going to get your 3rd round pick, which is 301. There are only 10 teams in the league.
Yeah, that sounds like a pretty nice, sweet, and he gets the tight end depth that he needs, that he doesn't realize he needs yet.
It's okay. Bam, that offer is gone too, by the way. You shitted on it twice. I was hoping, Bam, that we could have a change of heart here, but now you're doubling the fuck down on it. Okay, you got it.
In Bam's defense, y'all been shitting on Michigan all day. He probably like, fuck all y'all.
Yeah, well, if I knew that stealing signs could get you a national championship, I'd probably tell my team to do it more often too. Danny, let the fine people know where to find you, brother.
Y'all can find me at Danny Ocean 41. This has got to be one of my favorite episodes ever. This was great. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, speakonpod. Don't forget to speak to us, speakonpod14@gmail.com. I know football season's wrapping up. Fantasy's over. NFL regular season's about to be over. We're going to do a lot more NBA. WNBA is coming up. Free agency starts in 6 weeks. But ask us some questions. This is the time of year where things maybe slow down a little bit more. We will have more time to answer questions, to go a little bit more in depth. So again, speakonpod14@gmail.com with your questions.
Yo, so I've been getting a lot of interest in Chase Browns.
Really?
The backup running back for the Bengals.
Yeah, I know.
Apparently, with the Bengals letting Samaje Perine walk,
Joe Mixon's a little old.
Joe Mixon's a little old, and he might have some disciplinary actions for some off-field events. A lot of people think Chase Brown could be on the field closer than I assume. I've been getting a good number of offers from him. Kyle sent me a trade offer that was Tony Pollard for Chase Brown and a first. I don't I've been thinking on it. I don't know. I've also been thinking of trying to trade him for Kendre Miller and potentially a second-round pick.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
What would it take to get Devon A-Chain back?
Nope.
That was my biggest mistake this year. I thought it was a flash in the pan.
Nope.
But you put him on a trade block.
Nope. Yeah, I pump faked.
Lying ass. D, where can people find you?
The people can find me at LosDMix. That's LOSDEEMIX across Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. I'll be trying to do another live stream on Instagram or something later today. Shout out to everyone who's been following the DJ journey. I did my first solo set on Friday, coincidentally enough, at this spot called the Solo Club out here in Portland. Good little vibe. It was a little bit more R&B than I thought I'd be playing, just because it was a lot of couples and a lot of whites in there, and I didn't want to come with my, my urban music. Brother, I got Devon A-Chain for Mike Evans, 2/3. I got for 2/3 Mike Evans and Devon A-Chain. All I do was send Dallas Goedert, James Conner, Sky Moore, and Jonathan Mingo. Yeah, it's a good deal. It's a good deal.
Yeah, it was at the time.
Harry Roseman and GMs over here, ladies and gentlemen. I got to do more. So here's my thing with all these players I have. I think I could maybe afford to trade Chase Brown. I just don't know if I want to, because if he turns out to be good.
Well, if you wanna talk about A-Chain, I got plenty of ammo.
No, he's not moving. Tajay Spears and listen. If they're currently in my starting lineup, when you go to look at my team, that means I am not trading them.
Okay. Hold on. Let me go.
Danny. I know this is gonna make you laugh. Guess who just sent me a trade?
Bam.
Yep. Dontavius Wook for Chase Brown. No. No, because I sent you a better deal for Dontavius Wicks and you didn't want him.
He said, "Go to hell."
Yeah.
Well,
ladies and gentlemen, before we get out of here, I got one last thing. Listen, sometimes rap music finds a way to really entertain me. There was a song by Hit Boy, Hit Boy's dad. You know Hit Boy, the producer, right?
Yes.
So Hit Boy and Hit Boy's dad just recently got out of prison. Hit Boy's been producing a lot of his music, been rapping with him. And recently, Big Hit is Hit Boy's dad's name, put out an album with The Game. And they got this song called The Bang Freestyle. I want to let everyone know, preface, Hit Boy is from LA. His dad is from LA. If you know anything about LA, that is the capital of gang banging. So this song is called Bang Freestyle. I just want you to hear some of the lyrics. Look how they started off. It started off with a Cat Williams skip. Little sample beat. Beat kind of hard. I ain't gonna hold you. The beat kind of hard. Listen to these lyrics and tell me if you don't laugh a little bit. So you gotta start it off. Look. This is Bang Freestyle. Bang Freestyle. Listen to this. Come on, talk to me. On a bitch and I click a bone. I chose to bang when I already beat. I chose to bang because bangers the beef.
Hey, dog, turn that shit off.
Listen, it gets better. It gets better. Oh, been banging is a baby G. No, hold on. This last bar was kind of cold. No, this. Ooh. Ooh.
Kendrick, come save West Coast rap, please.
You cannot tell me hip hop is not hilarious, ladies and gentlemen.
Kendrick, please come save. Please come save. Oh,
I love hip hop.
West Coast rap. Please.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And ladies and gentlemen, if you watched my story, Monday Night Raw last night was very, very fun. And WWE has a good pyro budget for Cody because they let that shit rock.
They should.
Ladies and gentlemen, you could have been anywhere in the world, but you were here with us. Thank you so much for sharing your Tuesday evening with us. You could have been anywhere in the world. You just came here to speak on it. From Danny and myself, make sure y'all stay blessed. Y'all continue to speak on it. Peace.